All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Dallas Rakinen. I'm with CDW. By Sakina and Justin. They are both Microsoft master trainers, and they're going to be delivering some content today, and they're going to be monitoring the chat space for questions. We also have Kyle with Qualcomm, and today we are taking our first look at Copilot plus PCs. Now, without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to the team that's actually going to introduce you to Copilot plus PCs. Take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Dallas, and welcome to the CDW team. We're very excited to have you here. And myself and Justin are both Microsoft Commercial Master Trainers. So I'm going to be walking you through how you can revolutionize your workspace. So if you have any questions, again, just feel free to chime in the chat, and Justin will be there to answer them. And we will be also having a live Q&A at the end, too. So if you want to keep your questions on hold till the end, you can ask them off mute. So I'm really excited for the chance to talk to you all today, and I'm going to introduce the new era in AI and how it can revolutionize your workspace. So, with regards to AI, it's no secret that AI is shaping the future of our businesses all across our organizations and our lives as we know it. Over 75% of CEOs believe that the organizations with the most advanced generative AI are going to be the ones that are winning. And most companies are also now prioritizing their AI investment over any other kind of digital investment whatsoever. And over 100% of respondents in our audience research have agreed that they've said, I could use AI to help me get things done way faster. So that's what the consensus has been reported according to the Microsoft Audience Study in 2023. And to move forward with this same point, in the race to adopt the most advanced AI technology, organizations are always looking ahead of how are they going to be able to adopt AI without having to compromise their data integrity. So then the solution to this actually comes in, and we have something called the Copilot Plus PC, which you may have heard about now because of our announcement. And we're super excited to bring this to everyone here. So I would like to introduce the world's most fast and intelligent computer PC possible. So Copilot Plus PC is a revolutionary new class of secure AI PCs, and it's unlike any PC that we're currently using. In fact, it is the world's most intelligent PC as well. So what would you like to learn about this? We can first of all break this down into three components. We all know about what a CPU is. The central processing unit allows the computer to perform basic operations. We also have something called the graphics processing unit, and these were really useful, especially in the past, as CGI, for example, got more advanced. Having the most latest GPUs gave that really good, vivid details in movies that we get to experience, right? But now we have to run AI computations. The GPU still lags behind, and this is where we needed some new type of technology and chip to support our new AI. As AI software is advancing, we need the hardware to be up to date as well. So now, with the Copilot and Plus PC, we offer a unique architecture at a fundamental level. So as you all know, conventional computers are powered by CPUs and GPUs for the functions of quality graphics, but the Copilot Plus PC will take this to the new level because the NPU, which is called a neural processing unit chip, it's a dedicated chip that's designed to help us have AI computation specifically, so your data will stay secure. The measure of speed for these NPUs is going to be used by something called trillions of operations per second, also known as TOPS. So just as we hear gigahertz as the common way of measuring speed for a CPU, TOPS is going to be the new measure of how we're going to be measuring how fast an NPU is. So again, to specify, the NPU is specifically designed for deep learning and AI acceleration. It is optimized for complex mathematical and data processes, and this makes this ideal for tasks such as image recognition, natural language processing, and other AI-related functionality. So as a result, devices with NPUs can provide more powerful AI experiences, as well as better overall efficiency and performance. With TOPS, or otherwise known as trillions of operations per second, this is going to be the mainframe of the metric that you're going to have to take away. So just keep this in mind. And again, if you have any questions about this, please feel free to ask in the chat again. So let's move on. So now we have something that I want to talk about, which is unparalleled AI experiences And we've partnered with Qualcomm specifically to get these NPUs produced, along with our other partners here. So our partners now have, if anyone asks a question of what we're doing, Qualcomm has been working on the silicon chip for over 4 years, and the roadmap to launch is ahead of Intel and AMD's. So we've had Qualcomm silicon in our testing labs for over 8 months, and that's why we've decided to partner with them for this top-of-the-line NPU. And by the way, our NPUs hit over 40 tops in peak performance, and this it outbeats any competition in the market. I'm going to actually pull in my colleague for the following slide. However, if you need to compare it to the other market competitors, one with the fruit logo, for example, we do outbeat them too in terms of speed. But not only that, performance as well with its integration into Windows. And the fact that the chipset is built straight into the computer with the NPU, the CPU, and the GPU, it all sits onto one little chip. So this will help you create faster AI experiences. And you don't have to leverage the cloud to do this. So that's also, you can now have AI straight from your device at your fingertips and not from the cloud. Because currently before this, we were using AI on the cloud only, but now we can run AI computations in seconds right from our computer with the help of these chips. So the silicon roadmap is going to be, it's really exciting to hear about this news, and we're going to be hearing more about this from Qualcomm at the end. But without having too many spoilers, I'm going to just now move on and talk about the comparison of how a GPU versus a CPU and NPU perform. And for this, I'm going to throw it over to Justin. Thanks, Justin.
You're super welcome, Sakina. Hey, CDW team, how are you doing? So the long and short of it is that GPU, CPU, they're good at what they do, right? They're good at pumping out your graphics. They're good at computing all your stuff on your PC, right? So you can hit next on that slide. Oh, never mind. You're fine. But you can see here what we did is we threw the NPU a challenge. We said, hey, NPU, can you please just kind of pull out faces from a video and uniquely identify them for me? Please and thank you. And then we gave that same task to the GPU, the CPU. And you can kind of see how the NPU, because one, it's local, two, it only deals in AI processes, it's doing it much, much faster and more efficiently. And you can see the GPU, the CPU are kind of lagging behind, and the fans have kicked in. And I don't know if this particular deck has the overheating, but
I wish it did. I think it doesn't.
Yeah, on the other deck, we had the GPU, the CPU, where it kind of had a red and orange kind of hue going around it to indicate that they were starting to heat up. And what that indicates is that while the GPU, CPU can do these tasks, they probably shouldn't, because it's going to come at a cost. It'll come at a cost of energy efficiency, power, and heat, right? There are video cards out there in laptops, yeah, that they report 1200 and 1200 tops, right? But that's as a system total, first of all, and it's not quite the same when you take into effect the raw output that is necessary for a GPU to do what an NPU can do at much faster, more efficiently and cooler. That's basically it. Sakina, back to you.
Awesome, thanks. And I see a great question in the chat too, so about NPUs and whether it's specifically only for Copilot or not. So that's a great question. We'll come back to that one. Awesome. Thanks, Justin. So that was an awesome explanation. I hope that hit home for everyone in terms of, the utility and the importance of having an NPU. Because again, we have these AI has always been, really advanced, but now we finally have the software. With the software, we finally have the hardware to catch up to make you be able to leverage its full potential. And this is going to enhance whether it's your customer's productivity or your end user or yourself even. It's going to transform the way we interact with our technology. Was there any questions or shall I continue? Because I think even right now, I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Awesome. Okay, let's move on. So we've talked about the device perspective and in terms of, the hardware. But now we want to talk about its powerful performance and how this is going to lead to more productivity and what it's going to do for all of the users in an organization. So let's talk about how Copilot plus PC will amplify device performance with their built-in AI. So first of all, it's game-changing. It has turbocharged work and routine tasks are now eliminated. It has lightning speed and AI is secure on your device. When your AI is built straight into your device, what this allows you to do is you don't even have to leverage the cloud for it. It's built right onto your device. So at your fingertips, it's instantaneous. There's no lag. It allows you to elevate your productivity too. So before, if you used to ask Copilot a question in the cloud, it might have taken a minute. But because now with these chips built straight onto your computer, it would be happening within seconds. So that's the difference. This game-changing technology will empower your entire organization to take back your time to do more important tasks. So for example, if you're increasing your productivity and saving at least 20 minutes a day across all users in an organization, imagine how much time that would add up to in the long run. So you might be eliminating routine tasks. And again, high-value work will be prioritized and it'll free up the time to ideate and create and allow the organization to achieve more in the long run. So stack it up. If you want to position this from a value perspective to your customers, let's say you have 500 employees and each of them are saving 20 minutes per day. And imagine how much time that would stack up to in a week and how many hours your company would be getting back. So that way you can use that same time to leverage it, whether it's even the employees taking a bit of a break, which will also enhance their productivity, or if they have that time to think about creative ideas rather than having to do these routine tasks, such as, spending half an hour writing an email. Imagine if that gets boiled down to 5 minutes. This is just one example of what Copilot's capable of, but there's so much to it. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So with this powerful performance that transforms the way you and your teams work, speed is everything in an organization, and these computers are fast. They're able to run AI processes on the device within seconds, so you can actually search for something that you were looking at. Let's say if it was a file and normally it takes you 10 minutes to look for it, with using Copilot's help, you can find that within minutes, if not seconds. It'll also help you to create content faster and at a better efficiency with, more professionalism as well. So before, if it would take me, let's say, a day to make a deck, now it would take me an hour, which with the help of Copilot again. Same thing with image processing. Let's say if I need help with making an image with Paint to Co-Create, that's also part of, Copilot. I can actually go ahead and make an image and give it a rough sketch of what I'd like for the image to be, and then Copilot would finish that. So again, I love art, but it would take me 7 hours to make an image, and with using Copilot's help, I can make that within a minute, which is amazing. So again, these AI processes are now built to run on your device's NPU, so you can complete these workloads with lightning fast AI, and it's accelerated, and you can maximize your efficiency wherever you go. The other great thing about it is that it gives you super fast battery life. So now your device is designed to have battery life and to last wherever you go. But these NPUs, you could imagine you would think that they would need a lot of power, just like a GPU, but no, these NPUs are actually designed to run computations with minimal battery life at the same time. It's not going to eat into your battery life, and in fact, you'll still get longer battery life with the Copilot Plus PC. So you can think about how much effort this took to make. And then with AI experiences such as the Microsoft Recall feature, which we have built into Copilot, you're able to, that's the thing that allows you to pull up something. So let's say I was looking at, I just booked a hotel for Niagara Falls for the upcoming week. But if I was looking at 4 different hotels, and I couldn't remember which one it had decided on, so I can specify the image I was looking at saying, oh, can I see the hotel that's overlooking the falls? Copilot would be able to pull that up for me. Or even let's say if I was looking at hotels and then there was one specifically with a cabin that's in the woods. With Recall, Copilot would take little snapshots of what I'm doing and then basically be able to recall what I was looking at earlier. Okay. So now, again, I did mention that we have better battery life than the MacBook Air M3, and also we have a higher speed as well. So that's really important. This faster performance will use less energy, and Copilot Plus PC will reduce emissions and it will increase your battery life to support your knowledge and content creator workers. So they can unplug longer and have up to 20 plus hours of battery life, and they can work at top speeds with no lag as well. So can you imagine having a PC that doesn't lag or has minimal latency? So it says no latency, and I'm very excited for that. Now think about how this will also impact our meetings. I have a few features that I wanted to discuss that Microsoft Copilot Plus PC brings to the table. So we have something called enhancing our virtual presence, and it's called Windows Studio Effects. So now let's say I'm reading my notes and also talking at the same time as I'm doing today. With Copilot's Windows Studio Effects, I could actually look directly at the camera and it would make it so that it doesn't make it so obvious that I'm reading my notes. So with that feature that I'm looking forward to that myself. But not only that, you can also brighten yourself against a background. Let's say if you're not in a really well lit room. For me, I actually buy my own additional lights, but it'll save people hundreds of dollars if they don't want to have their additional light set up. It'll always allow you to maintain eye contact, and again, filter unnecessary noise. Now, Teams already has this, but with Copilot, this is just enhanced even more. The other thing is for me, I'll use a personal example. I speak 7 languages, so it's very easy for me to pick up on what people are talking about no matter what room I'm in, for the most part, because all of these languages are spoken by millions of people across the world. However, I don't speak 44. The thing is, Copilot actually allows you to instantly translate for 44 languages. Let's say if you are getting a video, if you need translation in that, it can translate across all Teams in 44 languages or even during a live video. So that's really amazing. It's allowing you to be more inclusive. So if you have cross cultural teams, this is going to help bridge that gap as well. And this also works with not just Teams, but other third-party apps such as Zoom and more, just to be clear. And right, so we did focus on all the features. We talked about, Copilot's recall feature to sum up, Windows Studio Effects, which allows you to have better engaging video, and also, again, the live translation feature that we have. But now I want to talk about more features that will help you unlock your productivity. So let's take a look at how Copilot is going to allow you to do this. So there's a new announcement that we have called Windows. Just as we have the Windows key, we also now have the Copilot key. It's the first change to the keyboard, to the Windows keyboard in 30 years. And if you remember on the right side of your keyboard currently, you can take a look at it. Between your Alt and Control key, we have that little file looking button. That's where the new Copilot key is going to go. And now you're just with one click, you're going to have Copilot's key at your fingertips. So super useful. I use my Windows key all the time, and I'm sure many of us do that too. But with the Copilot key, now we can just quickly grab it and say, hey, I want to do this. So it gives you instant access. So you don't even have to navigate to your search bar in Windows 11, as I currently have here, for example. And that's another way to bring up Copilot, just as you are all aware. But just in case, if you need to bring up Copilot, you can use it from here too. So using the Copilot key, you are now able to find things instantly, create and summarize and analyze without having to open multiple apps. And with just a few words for context in the prompt, you can then find mission-critical information faster and turn your ideas into action and respond quicker to customers and safeguard your most important data. Apologize, forgot to shut off my phone. Okay, so were there any questions on this before I move on? Because this is a huge announcement. It's the first change again to the keyboard in 30 years, and it's a big deal. So I'm very excited about that. All right. As we're moving forward, there's another thing that I want to bring a note of here, which is it'll allow you to stay focused for longer. I think in the age of digital transformation, it's super easy to get distracted while we do have all this technology to help us, sometimes being able to focus on your content it's so much harder now because we have so many notifications from everywhere. So if you need to focus and just say, hey, Copilot, I need to focus for this time, or hey, remind me to do this at this time, it's going to allow you to do whatever you need to by just, working with you as your personal assistant. So imagine you had someone sitting over your shoulder to say, hey, I needed help with this and this and this. But now you don't have to ask someone. You can just tell Copilot to do it, even verbally, and it will remind you at the right time. And you can delegate tasks too. You can even prompt Copilot to create emails and set up meetings, which I find super useful. But of course, when I'm first using that feature, I would just personally work with it to make sure that I'm comfortable with how it's doing it, and then I would move forward from that. Okay, but yeah, having that meeting support, let's say, to ask Copilot in a Teams meeting to say, can you take notes for me? And that way you have the ability to reference it back. And especially if you're having to jump between, we've all had this where we've had two Teams meetings at the same time on our calendar and we have to attend both somehow. So having Copilot as your assistant to say, hey, take notes for me. And, let's say you're on your second computer and you're joining another meeting, then you can catch up with both, of course. All right, so the other thing that I want to focus on is how we can drive employee innovation. So first, how do ideas transform into projects? It all starts from one thing, and then we work on it, we propose it, and then we work on it as a team. So Copilot is going to help us transform our ideas into higher impact projects much faster. It'll help us collaborate and expand our geographical presence as well. And with Copilot's insights, think about it. I think the best example of how to think about this is it's the biggest change to PCs that has happened since this past entire 30 years, I would say. But when web search first came out, you can think about how that allowed us to change the way we interact with our studies, because before that everything would be in the books and we'd be pulling up the definition from a glossary. But just as now we're using AI to leverage ideas, we can actually use AI's ideas to help us think of ideas and solutions way faster with better context and drive more impact, essentially. So across the board, 85% of organizations have a strong belief that AI will give them a competitive edge. And yeah, the smart move is to adopt this as fast as possible and to encourage your customers to get on board with this too. So think about how much change an organization will have when they have project development, creating new customer segments, social impact, and again, having happier customers. This will all help a business grow and thrive in the long run. Okay. I'm going to do a quick time check and see how everyone's doing. I think we're good. So yeah, we do have quite a bit of time. There are more questions, so let's just keep moving forward. Okay. Justin, I just wanted to double check. Were there any questions that are, urgent?
Not necessarily urgent, but there's some good discourse going on in the chat.
Okay.
It looks like we might have a good chunk of time for the Q&A, and we can't wait to address it.
Awesome. All right.
Keep it
So
up.
thanks so much. Hey, this is a great segue. Actually, we're talking about Microsoft Recall, and I did explain it, but I think you have so many good examples for Recall. So why don't you take a quick minute to talk about it? Because yeah, this is what it's basically the bread and meat and potatoes of Copilot, if you would say so. It's a really great feature, and Justin, I think you can talk about it a lot more than I can. So
Oh, you want my input? Okay.
yeah.
Well then. No, Recall is really, really cool. And I am actually a small business owner. I own my own event company. And had I had kind of these AI tools at my disposal, I could have done a whole whack of things probably better using these Copilot Plus PCs with Recall, with live captions, all that fun stuff, everything that Copilot has to offer, and enhancements in Windows. But Recall has me really interested because, one, I always forget stuff. I always forget. Like, I'm always browsing the internet. I'm doing research on this and that. I'm shopping a lot, whether for myself or for business purposes. And sometimes I'll come across something and I didn't bookmark it. I didn't sticky note it. I didn't do anything with it, and then poof, it's gone. And I forgot my search prompt in the search engine. So then I got to go look back and dig through my history and then and all that. No, Recall makes it so much easier. Again, natural language. Hey, last week I was looking for an event venue. I was looking for this product or whatever, and then it'll just kind of find it for me. So much easier. It just creates metadata that you can play with, right? Because these snapshots, they're not your typical screenshot, right? We're not snapping pictures of your screen. It's metadata that can only be, it doesn't leave your device. It doesn't leave your device. It's encrypted in conjunction with Pluton being on there, but it's data that you can interact with. You can select text. You can export pictures from a web page or something, or a chat. You can initiate emails based on your search query. There's so many crazy things that you can do with this, and it opens up a whole world of possibilities for that demand. Let's say, for example, in the business world, right, from your boss who says, "Hey, I need that report from 3 months ago that we've stopped talking about." Okay, great. How do I find that? I got to go dig through emails. I have to dig through messages, all that fun stuff to find exactly what my boss wants. It's probably going to take me a good chunk of time, might take half my day. Recall? I can find it in seconds, if not, in minutes or whatever. So yeah, hey boss, here, I found what you're looking for. Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Justin. I love that example. And honestly, I think I might give it to a couple of people I know, like the Copilot Plus PC as a gift for Christmas, because I do have to, like, in my social circle, like sometimes be the personal assistant of a lot of people, like in my own family, for example, saying, "Hey, I can't find this file." I'm like, you know what? You can ask Copilot now. Thank you very much. I get my own time back. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. Not that I mind, but in any case, who doesn't want more time? All right, so now we're going to be moving to the fun stuff, security for AI. I think this is it's a topic that a lot of customers are going to come to you for. So keep in mind that you can actually take a deep breather and be at ease, because Copilot Plus PC has security built straight into it from the chip level. It's not even from the software level. We're talking straight from the hardware. Um, so with the Copilot Plus PC, you can lock down your data. These NPU chipsets are empowered to make sure that you have security built straight into the chip, and you have commercial data protection as well. And a lot of these early adopters are also making sure that generative AI it'll be super helpful to their organization. However, it can introduce new security risks to their data, of course. So these NPUs are going to just add that extra layer of security. Also, these do deliver a lot of powerful, specifically designed. These chips are powerful specifically for AI, but because the NPU chipset, again, as I mentioned before, it runs on your device and it allows your AI to also run from your device, not from the cloud. So that means you can lock down your data to safeguard your most sensitive info and employee privacy as well. So let's say you don't want your employee data in the cloud, you have the option of just keeping it locally to the PC itself. So as a result, you can protect your IP and safeguard your business and personal data by allowing more operations to efficiently be run directly on the device. And this augments the commercial data protection and privacy for cloud-based services as well. And having full control over your data is really good for your IT department and decision makers. And again, you can make them rest assured that no one in Microsoft can see your AI data and nothing is used to train large language models. And this is all across the board, whether they have a Copilot Plus PC or just Copilot running in the cloud, their data is secure. But again, having that NPU that has that additional layer of security, it just gives people a peace of mind. So I think that's super important. Also, with regards to cybersecurity, Windows does have cybersecurity built in as well. So with Microsoft Pluton, it has the Microsoft Pluton security processor built into the NPU, and this allows for us to have something called a secure core PC. So this NPU enables highly secure and AI and high-performing AI processes to protect you from chip to cloud. So when you're traveling for business, connectivity and security can become more of a challenge. And imagine, let's say I'm in an airport and I'm working on some materials. I can actually have more and get more done being unplugged. So that's super useful as well. And again, with Copilot Plus PC, you don't need an internet connection. I could, let's say, be on a plane with no Wi-Fi. And if I need help building a presentation with ideas, I can run that and prompt Copilot to say, hey, can you help me build an outline for the presentation about marketing for this department? And it can give me a bit, or on this subject, and it can give me a base outline based on what I've inputted, because it's running right from the chip itself. Okay, so that was more use cases again, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of questions and excitement. I'm just really excited to use those features myself down the line. All right, so with having a business, with having turbocharged business impact, it's really important to think about how Copilot Plus PC will make your business future ready. So there's 3 points to remember. You have increased efficiency, agility, and competitive advantage with Copilot. So you can scale your business to new heights with the competitive advantage it offers with having more value of time. You can accelerate your innovation and work speed as well because these NPUs run straight from the device and will give you instantaneous AI and responses, so you won't have to wait for a response. You can streamline and optimize your workflows as well. So think about how much time you're going to be getting back as a whole organization-wide. That's super important. Don't want to delve too much into that because I think we did focus quite a lot about talking about this. But again, these points will keep these 3 pillars in mind: eliminating routine tasks, saving time, and focusing on work that drives value, not just routine and mundane things. We all want to make sure that we all have a lot of emails that come in, and think about how much time we have to spend replying or saying, "Oh, is this the right verbiage?" Having another personal assistant, such as Copilot, helping you kind of look over your shoulder to say, this email is good to go, or, for example, saying, does this email look good, or how can I improve the wording of this, to make sure we're driving our message with our words and being crystal clear in our communication. I think that's going to help us a lot, but it's going to do that in a shorter amount of time. Because even for me, I love essay writing, and I used to score high 90s to 80s, even in university for essay writing. But even for me, as I still use Copilot to help me write better because it has, I can't compare my own thinking to, a neural network has millions of layers in it, right? It's going to probably have the best result. So I do have that faith in it to help me achieve more in less time. Okay, so again, businesses want to remain flexible and remain competitive by enabling their employees to deliver their best work, regardless of where they are. So with Copilot Plus PC, you can achieve more with your team, and that's all I want to deliver here. So everyone does want to have more productivity, but again, with these powerful features in Copilot, your team and your customers' teams can deliver your best work wherever you are. And think about it from the perspective of knowledge creators. These could be salespeople or marketing, people in marketing. Especially for them, this would be a great selling point. But even for a CIO who has 500 employees, if those employees are all spending like 2 hours a day just writing emails, think about it. If they cut it down to just half an hour a day, like how much time are they getting back for their organization as a whole? So they could deliver more valuable work then. All right, so optimizing our IT environment is super important too. But again, a lot of organizations have said that there have been a drop in cybersecurity incidents with these Windows 11 Pro devices, and Copilot Plus PCs integrate perfectly with Windows 11 Pro and with your existing infrastructure as well. So any apps that you're running can run on Windows 11 Pro as well, even on the Copilot Plus PCs. Okay. So it's now time to drive this change. It's time for our customers to get ahead of their competition with these Copilot Plus PCs because we want them to win. As your customer's trusted advisor, you're going to be the one who has their best interest in mind. And of course, you have to have all the materials to advise them in the first place. So in an AI-driven climate, technology and on-the-job tools play an enormous role in employee satisfaction. 86% of employees now across the board have been surveyed, and they would all like to welcome AI to help them find the right answers and information. But we want to make sure to do this with their data and peace of mind. So when Copilot's built straight into their devices, they won't have to turn to external sources of AI to get help. They will do it right from their computers with the peace of mind of enterprise-grade security. And again, industry leaders all have one thing in common. They're forward thinking and they have something that they want to achieve, which is embracing new technologies and new ways of working for their organization and drive change forward. So Copilot PCs will enable this to happen and help their organizations unlock their hidden potential. Okay, so now I think this is a great time to just throw it over to Kyle, who's going to be talking about the Qualcomm side of things, but I've spoken quite a bit on the value add of Copilot Plus PCs, and I'm going to welcome him and stop sharing my screen in just a second, and we'll kick it back for questions at the end. I hope that's okay with everyone. Thanks, and all the best. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm having trouble seeing.
We hear you. We hear you.
Okay, thank you, Doug. So thrilled to be here. My name is Kyle Hauser. I have the absolute pleasure of leading our worldwide commercial business here at Qualcomm. I have the opportunity to work with fantastic partners like CDW, Microsoft, and our OEM community every day. And I have an incredible team in North America to help support you all as customers. And they're taking a much deserved break, extending a long weekend as they need to after a very exciting week in the industry last week. And so Sakina and team did a great job at setting the foundation for what Copilot Plus is. I want to talk to you a little bit about the technology underpinning the ability to bring Copilot Plus to you all and your customers and users. And so many of you probably know Qualcomm. We have a long legacy in mobile around moving technology forward. And for over 35 years, we've really invested in this space, pushing the limits of what's possible. Technologies like 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, as an example, powering most of the smartphones in the world, having the opportunity to go into new areas like automotive and what we're talking about today, compute. We enter very intentionally into these industries because we think we can bring value to the industry. And so when you look at Snapdragon X series of products, both X Elite and X Plus, we built it from the ground up with the things that you see here on the right-hand side in mind, right? We want to address your most challenging pain points around battery life and performance. We know AI is going to have a huge impact on the way people work, right? We're all tasked with doing more. We think your PC should be able to do more for you. And then we also want to make sure it's something that IT and CISO organizations are comfortable with from a management, security, and privacy standpoint, as I've seen some chatter in the Q&A today around what does this look like on a new platform. And so when you think about that, we built this in deep collaboration with Microsoft. Sakina mentioned we started this journey over 4 years ago together. And Copilot Plus, we're excited to see it come to life because it's only available on our platform. And if you've been following the press over the past week, you'll probably have seen from a lot of our OEM community that we launched over 20 designs across the 7 leading OEMs in the world for the PC. And so these are all coming available very soon, as you heard from each respective OEM. But we could not be more excited for you all to get your hands on these and let us put our money where our mouth is. And so when we think about this, we think about not only what we're saying about it, but we also think about what the press is saying, right? It's our deep partnership with Microsoft to enable new workloads in the Windows ecosystem. It's a shift in the industry. It's something that addresses the pain points that you all have and establishes leadership in the PC ecosystem. So we're very excited again for these to hit the shelf, working with CDW to get them in your hands. And we'd love the opportunity to engage and share with you more around the portfolio, some of the deeper questions you have around the underpinning Snapdragon X series. And we're going to talk about a few of them that we've heard from you today. So my team has gone out and engaged over 4,000 customers of all sizes, right? 2,000 enterprise customers, 2,000 small business and mid-market customers. Consistently, the feedback has come back saying, we want more battery life, we want more performance, one cannot compromise the other, and we will switch platforms for that. And we're having trouble with the existing technology we have today keeping up with our demand. And so this is based on our data and our feedback. We would love to understand from your point of view how these challenges fit in, because we think we have a really neat story to address them with Snapdragon X series and the new Copilot Plus PCs. And that brings us to what we've also heard from our partner and customer community. It can't just be about AI. It can't be just about battery life or just about performance. All three have to work in tandem. And that's where that architecture of CPU plus GPU plus NPU working together in a highly sophisticated way brings a differentiation that has been primed for this industry and much needed. And we're able to do things like deliver peak performance from our competitors at 1/3 of the power. So you think about running that across thousands of employees and the energy savings that can have in terms of your carbon footprint goals, the productivity gains it can have when someone's not chasing an outlet or they leave their power adapter at home. People will start to leave power adapters at home because they're no longer needed with this platform. For example, I went from an event in Toronto with our friends at CDW to Italy and back for another partner event, and I was able to do it without having to plug my laptop in. And that's on our previous generation silicon. The other thing that we touched on is Microsoft has defined requirements in terms of what it takes to be a Copilot Plus PC. As I mentioned, it's only available on Snapdragon today because we're delivering 45 TOPS, trillions of operations per second on the NPU alone. And you'll hear a lot of chatter in the PC ecosystem around what it can do when you're looking at CPU plus GPU plus NPU combined. It still falls short of what we're able to do on just the NPU. And the benefits that Sakina mentioned around it's immediate, it's personalized and has the context of that user. It keeps your data safe and secure on the device. And it allows you to do it in areas where maybe you can't use cloud-based AI. For example, think airplane Wi-Fi. I spend a lot of my time on the road. I've gotten so used to using some of these features on my device. If I had to go to the cloud for it every single time, I would be really challenged to be as productive as I've grown to be with some of these new Copilot Plus features. The other thing we hear from users is we need our apps to work. The great news is we put a lot of focus with our OEM partners and with Microsoft on making sure that your applications that you need and use every day are available for Windows on Snapdragon and the Copilot Plus PC. And today, we've been able to validate over 900 of these apps. There's also some third-party sites out there that are tracking and reporting on compatibility. So the app ecosystem continues to grow every day. We couldn't track them logo by logo. So thank goodness for that organization helping us drive that into the broader ecosystem. And we're happy to share that link with you. We've also thought a lot about what's needed from an IT standpoint, right? And I saw some chatter around Intune, different endpoint security, access and identity management, data protection, tools that your IT team may use. We've been working with all of these different app ecosystem partners to ensure that they are native if they need to be native, and that if they aren't native today, they run better than a native version on an x86 platform when emulated on Snapdragon. And we've also launched, as of last week, an application that showcases all of the different applications that we have personally tested and are up and running today. So this can be found at qualcomm.com/Windows apps. There's a whole slew beyond the IT management apps here that include productivity, creative, other categories that your end users might use every day as part of their workflow. And so I wanted to just cover these things in a few quick minutes. But the key takeaways is we built this again from the ground up to take advantage of the productivity, energy efficiency, and security gains that AI brings. We've also brought better performance, better efficiency, and battery life at the same time. We've got the industry-leading NPU. That's the only one in the Copilot Plus PC class. And then we've also thought about how we secure this within your organization and make sure the apps are there to work as intended. And so before I hand it back over to Dallas, I want to leave you with this from our most recent earnings call with our CEO. And he likes to remind us of this internally all the time as well. We're very intentional when we enter a new market. And when we do, we end up building a strong position. And so when you look at what we did in our front end as we moved from mobile, what we did with Wi-Fi, what we've done in the automotive industry, it's an important part to think about the PC being that next pillar of our diversification. And when we do move into a new business, we end up being the partner of choice. And as you can see, the OEM partnerships we have, the Microsoft partnership, our amazing channel community and partners like CDW, we have strong momentum together to be able to drive into this space and support you. And please, from a Qualcomm standpoint, reach out to CDW, but we'll have some time at the end for questions specific to our stuff as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dallas.
All right, so thank you. I was just ask you to share that slide deck. So Copilot Plus PCs change everything again. Copilot Plus PCs are exclusively Windows 11 devices. Windows 10 is going end of support by October 2025. This may feel like a lot of time, but if you're larger and you have a larger fleet of devices on Windows 10, it is not a lot of time. I would encourage you to move towards initiating a Windows strategy now. Most organizations need time and skill to adopt Windows 11. CDW and Microsoft have partnered to provide support for these clients. You can run Copilot plus PCs and Windows 10 devices together. However, it will be best for them to run on a unified platform. Not all devices update to Windows 11. Want to know which devices won't update? CDW and Microsoft have a solution for that. If you've not used Windows 11, it's going to look and feel familiar, but behind the scenes, it is designed to be more secure, more productive, and Windows 11 does support AI and Copilot readiness. 99.7% of applications go across from Windows 10 to Windows 11 without issue. But if you are in that 0.3, rest assured, Microsoft has support for you with the App Azure program. This is a free resource for E3 and E5 clients where a Microsoft engineer will work with you to help iron out any legacy solutions moving to Windows 11. Now, do you want to get the ball rolling with Copilot in the cloud, Copilot plus PCs, and or a Windows 11 strategy? Reach out to your account team, and we can start the support from there. If you could just click onto the next slide for me. All right, if you didn't know, there's a QR code there. We're asking for your feedback, but and we're also asking if you need more support. So if you have questions, comments, concerns that are not resolved in this session, please grab that QR code. And there's a hidden value there. We're actually giving away a Copilot Plus PC. So grab that QR code, give us your feedback, ask us your questions that didn't get answered, and fill out that survey link and be in the running for be the first or one of the first to have a Copilot Plus PC. Now, I'm going to leave that on screen, but we are going to go into questions, comments, and concerns. So we do have expertise. We're in a very unique situation. We have expertise from Qualcomm, Microsoft, and CDW. So light up that chat space. Can we copy that link, the code into the chat space? Somebody's saying they don't have access to it. Can we copy the link?
Yeah, 100%. And I can even add a snip of the, what's it called? The QR code. So that way it's easier to access.
Yeah, there's quite a few people saying it's not working right now.
Yeah, hold on. I'm working on it in the background to address it. And quick note, I don't know if we touch, obviously, the giveaway, even though we may do the draw before, unfortunately, person won't get it before June 18th, which is the official. I'm
it's not official.
Just wanted, but yes, just bear with us. Okay, the link should be in the chat now.
And if you missed that, June 18th is when these so they were announced last Monday, but June 18th is when they're available.
Correct.
I'm going to invite Mitch to chime in too. I saw that there were so many questions, so Justin's probably going to be able to relay the ones that haven't been addressed yet. And then, yeah, Mitch is here too. So I just wanted, he runs the entire global training team. So just wanted to invite him to say hi.
And he's got Justin first-hand experience with these devices, so I don't think there's anybody more qualified to chime in. And so I've got the questions. I copied them from the chat in order in which they were asked. So we're going to go question number 1. Would Copilot for Office 365 run locally on the new Copilot Plus PCs?
Awesome question. And hi, team. Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch Doctor, Global Master Trainer. I work with Sakina and Justin and the entire Microsoft team. So wonderful question. So Copilot for M365, O365, whichever way you want to go about it, is still an online only solution, right? That is what you're paying a license for, is to have Copilot for M365 per user. That experience is going to remain online because that's really where our Entra ID and our beings kind of exist within our online space, within kind of our businesses that we work in. So Copilot in Teams and Outlook and et cetera, will remain an online experience. A Copilot Plus PC doesn't inherently have anything specific about it in doing anything to do with M365 Copilot at this time.
Cool. All right, question number 2 was, will Copilot translate Teams meetings? For example, A French speaker will have English translation for the English listener, and English speaker will have a French translation for the French listener. Mitch,
Cool.
c'est possible.
I will absolutely do my best for you, Justin. As my team knows, I'm in charge of a global team of trainers, and I only speak English that I'm allowed, that I would like to admit to. So right now in Copilot Plus PC, the way translation works in live captioning at general availability will be 44 languages into English. That's integrating in Copilot Plus PC itself. We are working actively with our development teams and the business groups to be able to reverse engineer that. And we're hoping to be able to do that in the foreseeable future. So do hang on for that. Now, when it comes to using Teams, now, if you're just using Teams and you're not using a Copilot Plus PC, Teams already inherently, while you're online, is able to translate. So I hope that answers that question for you.
And I'm looking for a list of all 44 languages. Stay tuned. In the meantime, let's jump on to the third one. Can recall be configured via group policy?
Excellent question. It is the number one question of the week and of the days following launch. I happened to be at Dell Tech World last week, and it was something I answered literally probably once every hour. So right now, recall can be managed by the user. The end user, you, are the ones who control how recall works on your device. That includes being able to delete, pause and unpause on demand. You can get rid of your whole history, yesterday, 2 days ago, a week ago, whatever it is. You have full manipulation over that. You can also, for lack of a better term, blacklist applications or websites that you don't want captured ever. But at the time of launch that we talked about on the 18th, Intune will be the only way to manage recall. And at launch, it will only be an on and off switch. We are actively working in the field with Microsoft's largest partners to figure out exactly what we need in the group policies and what controls are necessary. We are hoping that we see what those controls are and have them finalized and ready to go by our fall update. So if you do get a Copilot Plus PC at launch, you will notice that recall will say that it is in preview, and it is only in preview because of the lack of group policy management at launch. That is it. Other than that, recall is 100% ready to go and awesome.
There you go. Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Here we go.
I did see one question on Power BI, and yes, it will extend to Power BI as well. In terms of if you have that, if your customers have the extra license of, Office 365, Copilot working with Office 365 and M365, which is $30 per user, then they should be able to leverage all those features across all Office 365 apps, including Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Power BI. So yes, that's the answer.
I think that one came on when we were reviewing.
I think it was Kyle, I think it was a question for you actually around Power BI. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think I did see it in there.
It was on there, I saw.
Yeah, so anything first party, right? You can expect a phenomenal experience on when it comes to Snapdragon based on the work we've been doing with the Microsoft team. Anything else will more than likely run amazing emulated. Right. We're seeing emulation performance on our platform that runs 20-30% better than native versions on others. So I don't think you'll bat an eye with most of the applications.
It is pretty incredible, the emulation. And as Kyle knows, and I've worked closely with Kyle's counterpart Corey as well, and looking at some of these numbers, and it is pretty incredible. You will not bat an eye at we've even seen some emulation numbers outpace the native. Go figure. Not sure how that works, but the work Microsoft with the Aperture team and Snapdragon has been doing together so you can function and still use your PC as you expect are all there. Justin, I think there's one more question you might have for me, and then I think we're going to pass it over to Kyle.
Yes, let me get to it here. You said 5, right? Is it the AI runs secure? AI securely runs on the device. Great idea. How can we guarantee AI performance? That actually bleeds into another question I saw come up in the chat, where is the NPU going to draw performance from the CPU, the GPU?
Okay. Good question. Kyle, I'm going to leave that MPU question for you on how MPU and the processor draws power, because I think Kyle's the right person to answer that.
Yep.
But on the flip side, how can we guarantee AI and its security and and what it does? So what is really cool with Copilot Plus PC experiences, aka Recall, Live Translation, and Windows Studio Effects, all those things are kind of a lock and key. So they are on board, right? You could be completely offline for these experiences, and especially Recall, is that everything that Recall captures, even though it looks like a picture to you and I, because we're humans, how else are we going to interact with billions and billions of whatever it is of metadata? How do we make sense of that? We don't. The AI generates a screen for us to interact with that metadata. And that's really what you're seeing in Recall. So that metadata needs both the Pluton security on board and the MPU, and that metadata works together to kind of unlock that data. That's the only way for that data to be unlocked and even be able to be accessed. So if something happens and your hard drive does fail, at least at this time, there is no way to back up that that metadata that Recall has or anything. It is on that device. If your device or your hard drive does fail, you would lose Recall data. At least at time of launch, I know that there's a lot of conversations about how can we back that up. Is that and there's a couple different avenues to be able to do that, but making sure that we foundationally, whatever method we end up with is the most secure method as well, and making sure that that is what we do going forward. So more to come on that in the future. And then Kyle, I think that second part of the question for you is all yours. How does the CPU, NPU, and maybe GPU all work together on drawing power? And then how are we seeing the really huge jumps, revolutionary jumps in battery availability?
Yeah, so I'll give you one real world example that came out of our joint testing together, right? And this has to do with Microsoft Teams. For example, when you offload some of those experiences to the MPU, such as the studio effects, we'll take advantage of that one for now, or note capture, you're actually seeing twice as long battery life because those workloads are using the MPU rather than the CPU and GPU. And so when you think about that, the MPU does impact the workloads of the CPU and GPU, but in a very positive way. It frees those engines up to do what they do best and leaves the AI workloads to the MPU. I think, that's one of the things that it came up earlier around the app community being written or writing applications to take advantage of this. Again, after Microsoft Build, it's been incredible to see the ISVs coming out with the use cases they have and the workloads they want to offload to the MPU. So more to come in that regard, but they're all looking at it when you see things like video editing and masking taking 1/3 of the time. When you see being able to generate images 20 times faster than you can on devices using the CPU and GPU today. When you think about the fact that meetings can operate seamlessly while you're at an airport without being plugged into an outlet, having something capture all the notes for you with a virtual background like this, those are all examples of where those workloads or workflows are going to continue to improve. The other thing I did want to say, because I saw a question about it and it ties in to both the ISV development and what's happening on the desktop space. At Build last week, we also announced the Snapdragon X Elite Dev Kit for our ISV community. So a desktop that lets developers really kick the tires on what is possible, taking advantage of the system on a chip that includes that CPU with better performance than competitors in the market. Sakina mentioned the Apple performance. Better GPU performance and better NPU performance. So developers are really leaning into that box to be able to bring more experiences to you.
Awesome. Kyle, I do have one real world thing because I have been carrying around my Elite Copilot Plus PC for about 2 weeks now. I think I've had it plugged in twice in 2 weeks, literally. I flew home from Vegas on Friday. I was out at partners at Dell Tech World in Vegas. I unplugged it at like 7 in the morning on a Friday. I watched like 6 or 7 hours worth of movies. I came home and did a little work. I went away for the long weekend. I'm sure as well, I'm in the US, so I'm not in Canada, but we had a long weekend in the US, and I literally just let it sit. I opened it this morning in standby for a couple of days. I still have 51% battery on full blown balance, and I'm talking about already 12, 13 hours worth of work into it.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is really, that's a real, I mean, that's what my device is doing right next to me. So there's some really incredible stuff that we're able to do with these Snapdragon processors and Copilot Plus Pro PCs on Windows 11. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over, I guess. Justin, was there any other Q&A that we saw?
There might, one or two.
Yeah,
I'm
go for it.
answering them in the chat as we go because we're going to go over time. I'll
take one more minute. Windows 11 is for the foreseeable future the only version of Windows, right? Windows 11 and
Correct.
Windows 11 Pro. There is no new version or anything. All these devices, including Copilot Plus Copilot Plus PCs, are all Windows 11 or Windows 11 Pro experiences on the existing platform and OS that we've all come to love over. Oh my goodness, is it 4 years now? Oh no, 3 years. I think 3 years sounds better.
2021.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
feels like forever ago,
it
but
feels
not
like
really.
an eternity when you've been at Microsoft so long.
There you go. I have one
cool.
good one, I think.
Go for it.
Here we go. It says, wondering if there's going to be an add-on NPU available for workstations, desktops, and servers that could be replaced less frequently, kind of like a modular kind of situation.
I mean, we at Microsoft are software folks, so I know I would be willing to, you know, with if we keep seeing stuff like this, and maybe Kyle from your side also, like, it'd be cool to see something like that, and with more innovation. I mean, with more innovation on the software side and more able to be done, I would love to see what the hardware ends up looking like eventually.
Yeah, who
Kyle
knows? If you could buy an NPU chip over the counter, you know, just stick it on your motherboard. Who knows?
It's a good conversation for another time.
I agree, right? Definitely not for today, but I mean, let's innovate one step at a time. And I think the really cool thing is, like, you all are on the absolute ground floor. Like, the starting gun hasn't even sounded yet. Like, that is literally where we are here. You're just the first in line as the race is about to start, and the light is turning green, and that's really where you are right now as we talk about where we are and where we are.
How are you doing, Jepson?
Good.
And where we are on this whole AI PC and Copilot Plus PC journey. The light is turning green, and we're at the pole, right? Like, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, I want to thank everyone for attending this event. If you're thirsty for more, reach out to the CDW team. We can get you some more information. But I want to further thank Sakina, Justin, Kyle, and Mitch for lending their skills, their expertise, and their passion. This is something definitely to be passionate about. And so many more people you'll never know that we're working behind the scenes to bring you in today. So thank you very much for your time and energy. If you do have questions, light up that chat space, and we'll see what we can do about getting you some answers. But thank you for attending.
Thanks, everyone.